Hi, I'm Dr. Christian Conte, and in this video, I'm going to tell you all about road rage, why you might get it, and what you can do about it. So stay tuned. Road rage is an intense overreaction that occurs to people driving vehicles. It can occur to men, women, and people of all ages, and it can happen absolutely anywhere. Look, on one end of the spectrum, road rage can result in someone having a really bad day. But tragically, on the other end of the spectrum, road rage can result in death. The fact is, road rage is a problem that occurs all over, and it's something that I've been asked about for many years. So I really want to give you some insight on to what I believe causes road rage and to what you can do about it. Road rage occurs for three main reasons. The first reason that I see it occurs is fear. Think about this. When you're driving down the road and someone nearly cuts you off, your life is literally at risk. And what happens is, when someone cuts us off, fear shoots through us. And when fear shoots through us, it literally looks like this. Extra adrenaline, cortisol going through our bodies. And now we have a whole bunch of energy. And what do you do to get that energy out? Let me give you an analogy. If you've ever watched ducks on a pond, and you see these ducks on a pond going at it and they kind of fight. Then when they go away from each other, what do? They flap their wings really, really hard. And they do it because they have all this excess energy and they've got to get it out. Let's come back to the car. Road rage. You're driving down the road, someone cuts you off. You're flooded with adrenaline and cortisol, flooded with fear, which is natural. Now, how do you get this energy out? For some people who don't know how to handle that energy, they snap. And that's why we see people who would be typically kind, really nice people, all of a sudden screaming and acting pretty much out of character or seemingly out of character for them because they're flooded with fear and they don't know what to do about it. It makes a lot of sense. Fear is one big reason why people have intense road rage responses. The second reason why I believe road rage occurs happens because people don't live in reality. Listen, let me tell you what I mean by that. I've talked about this in other videos, but I see there being a difference between what I call the cartoon world. And the cartoon world is that's like the world the way we want it to be, the way we demand it should be. So in my cartoon world, I think, well, nobody should cut me off. Nobody should drive slowly if I don't want them to. But then, besides the cartoon world, there's the real world. And in the real world, people do cut people off when you're driving down the road. You've cut people off driving down the road. People have done it to you. And people do drive slowly sometimes when you'd like to be moving along a little bit more quickly. That's reality. So when we align our expectations with our cartoon world, we're not really living in reality, then we can get really heated when people break our imaginary rules. He shouldn't have done that. She shouldn't have done that. That car shouldn't have done that. We get so upset because they broke our cartoon world rules. Versus looking at it from a perspective of people are going to make mistakes. Have you ever noticed that when you're driving down the road and you cut someone off and they get upset, you're like, hey, what's the big deal? I just made a little mistake. But if someone does it to you, oh my goodness, that's a lot different. Well, listen to this. The third main reason I believe why road rage occurs is because we have a tendency on the road to take things personally, especially things that are just simply not personal. When you accidentally cut someone off or make a mistake driving down the road, it's certainly not intentional toward another person, but when someone does it to you, or just happens to be their car going in front of your car, all of a sudden it's personal. Like, how dare that person disrespect me? How dare they disrespect me? And then lash out, and you kind of go hard at somebody, which is where the road rage comes in. So think about that. Three main reasons. Fear definitely shoots adrenaline, cortisol, and we're going to react strongly. The second reason is we kind of don't live in reality in the moment. This is how it should have gone, when in reality, this is how it actually went. And then finally, taking things personally that just aren't personal. So now, what's the antidote? I'm glad you asked. So the first antidote is this. When it comes to that fear, that moment of almost being hit, and we get enraged, one of the reasons why, again, is because we're flooded with this adrenaline and cortisol. We don't feel safe. But the reality is, when we're almost hit, we're also not hit. In other words, it might have been a close call, but we got away with it, right? We didn't get hurt in that moment. Now, if we say to ourselves, I'm safe, I'm okay, over and over again, then we're gonna feel safe and okay. But if we say to ourselves, I'm not okay, it's not okay that this happened, and then we get heated, we get built up on those thoughts more and more, then we react strongly. But if we could say to ourselves things like, I'm safe, I'm cool, it's okay, the more we say that to ourselves, the more our bodies actually believe it. Now listen, this isn't a case where I think you're going to be able to go out, shut this video off, drive down the road, someone cuts you off, and you're just going to be like, hey, I'm safe, I'm okay. Like, I don't really think that's going to occur. And saying I'm safe or I'm cool or it's okay isn't a magic pill. You can't just say it once and all of a sudden, bam, no more road rage. It's something that, like in weightlifting or anything else, takes practice. So the more you practice saying, I'm safe, I'm cool, it's okay, like the more you say that, and you again, saying it to yourself. Like, I think if you're driving down the road and you have somebody in the car with you and all of a sudden someone makes a mistake on the road and you just start saying to yourself, I'm safe, I'm cool, I'm okay. I'm not sure that you're gonna really seem safe, cool, and okay to your buddy in a car. But if you say this to yourself over and over again, you train your brain to say that when an almost accident happens, an almost accident didn't happen. In other words, you really are safe and okay. The more you say that to yourself, the more your body starts to believe it. And the more you make that an actual response. So you practice it enough. Just think, in karate, you practice a move over and over again. Bam, move, punch, and you get so good at it that you don't even have to think about it. It just becomes a response. Now, the same thing happens when you train your brain to say, I'm okay, I'm safe, it's okay. You say that over and over again, and then when near accidents occur, you feel, I really am safe, I'm okay, I'm all right. So practice saying it. The second antidote to what do you do when we talk about living in our not in reality, we live in our cartoon worlds. The antidote to that is align your expectations with reality. In other words, if you leave your house to get in the car, understand that the reality is many people are going to make mistakes on the road. There could be construction when you're really in a hurry. There could be people who cut you off. There could be people who drive slowly in front of you. There could be all kinds of things that happen because that's natural. When you get on a highway and you get lots of people out there, people are going to make mistakes. Throughout your own driving history, you've made plenty of mistakes. The difference is when we make mistakes, we downplay them. Oh, it was no big deal. That's fine. But imagine every driver who's ever driven has made mistakes. Now we're putting all of those people out on the road together, and on any given day, someone could be, the more you're driving, the more you're around traffic, the more opportunities you have to be around people who are making a mistake. Now when they make that mistake, I want you to align your expectations with reality and say, that's gonna happen, and I'm gonna prepare myself for that. There's no reason for me to give away my power and throw my day out the window simply because another driver made a mistake. Finally, the third antidote, especially when it comes to taking things personally, is simply stop taking things personally. When people make mistakes on the road, it's not about you. And what we have to do is learn how to take our ego and set it aside and realize that if someone cuts us off, that person wasn't sitting there all night waiting for us to get in the car, and they're kind of watching us, and they think, okay, this person's you're on your way to work now, so I'm just gonna be, I'm gonna wait till you get there now. I jump on the highway, and then all of a sudden, bam, cut you off. Like I did it all just to get you. That doesn't happen. And if you hear it out loud, as we say it out loud, it sounds kind of funny because people aren't targeting you. And because they're not targeting you, you don't need to take it personally. It's okay to say, you know what, this person made a mistake, I'm all right. I want to give you one bonus tip. And this is kind of interesting because I see this all over. This bonus tip is for anyone out there who subscribes to the philosophy that things happen in life for a reason. There are so many people that will tell me, I really believe things happen in life for a reason. Now, if you tell me that, then you're gonna have a hard time convincing me of why you have road rage. Because if you really do believe that things happen for a reason, then how do you know that the person who cut you off or that the person who's driving slowly in front of you isn't doing so for a more grand purpose or a bigger reason, whatever that reason is? So again, if you subscribe to the philosophy that things happen in life for a reason, then I'm pretty sure it's just not when you get to pick the reason or you get to pick the experience. If you really believe that, then that means when people cut you off, it's happening for a reason. When you realize that, when you go into your driving with that mentality, when you think about knowing these 3 causes of road rage and knowing these 3 antidotes to what you can do, and you walk into your car proactively thinking these things, then you are significantly less likely to react with rage when something doesn't go your way. Look, at the end of the day, we're all human and we all make mistakes. But I think it's really important for all of us to be a little more mindful when we're out there on the road, to not only be in control of ourselves, but to bring a peaceful energy to the road. For more on emotional management, visit drchristianconte.com. And please make sure you hit the like button, and we would love if you subscribe to the channel. I wish you much peace.